I'm Shreya and this is Decoding Code. In this video, we are going to be talking about writing and reading files. And if you are kind of new to files, then I have an intro video to files and that was my last week's video. So if you want to go over and watch that, then feel free to do so before you watch this one because that would be very informational for you. Without further ado, let's get into it. So here, I'm basically just going to write an example file and then I'm going to read the file. And so let's start by writing a file. Now there is a class called FileWriter in Java and that basically writes files for you. However, you can see here, I'm using this PrintWriter class as well, and that's basically like a helper kind of class. Now PrintWriter basically takes the format, so it helps you by, I can just put in .println and then it'll take that format and then put it straight into the file. So, and I can make new lines and just print it out like that, and it'll print it like this as two separate lines for me. So it basically takes what I put into this println and then it'll print it and it'll send that to the FileWriter to make a file and then put that in the file. So what we're going to do is we're going to make an object of the PrintWriter class and then new PrintWriter, and then inside of that we're going to put new FileWriter, and then here's where I basically want to stick my file. So it's going to be in my documents directory and then Shreya programming directory. And then that's going to be, I'm going to call it example.txt, and txt is a text file because right now I'm going to make it a text file. So then we're going to say write.println, and this is going to print a string. And so I want first, hello, this is me writing a file using PrintWriter and FileWriter, and then just bleep, bloop, blop, blop, blop. And then I want to close it. So it's basically just closing the string, so you can't really add more to that string because it's closed now. And basically what this is going to do is it's going to take these two lines, this hello line and this bleep bloop blop 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 line, and it's going to send these in this format, and it's going to format it for me, and it's going to send this formatted representation of these two lines to the FileWriter, and then the FileWriter is going to write that file in this place for me. So this is the path of the file, and this is where I want to send my file. That is me writing this file, and I'm putting it in a try-catch statement just to catch any errors or whatever might happen there. And you kind of need to do that there, because for certain things you need to just put try-catch statements to catch like what if that doesn't exist, what if there is no file there, or if that's not a directory here. And a bunch of things could just go wrong, so it's just good to put a try-catch statement there. And then when we go to my Finder, I'm going to go to Shreya programming, and then this is that directory. You can see that there is now an example.txt. So we go there, and then here you can see it says, hello, this is me writing a file, blah, 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 right? That is there now. And you can see that this is actually that file. I'm gonna change this hello to hi. So if we go back there, we can see that now it says hi. So basically we're just writing this into this file and then creating this file. And PrintWriter is helping us write it in that format, and it's basically just helping us write it that way. Now we want to read this file. So how are we going to do that? Now there is another class called FileReader. Now FileWriter, FileReader, kind of easy. And this is kind of the basic class as well. It just reads a file. We use another kind of helper class called BufferedReader. And what this is going to do is it's going to buffer the characters, meaning it's going to give us like chunks of the characters in order to read it like that line by line type of thing. So it's reading it in two separate distinctive lines in those sentences like that, and it's basically buffering it and sending kind of chunks of the file of the lines to this Eclipse, and then it's reading it like that. So it's buffering it and sending it over. So we can read it in these sentences and lines. So that's what the buffered reader is doing here. Again, we're creating this buffered reader where I'm calling my object read, and then it's a new buffered reader, and then we're going to put that same path here because we want to read the exact same file that we just wrote. And now what I'm going to do is, so that I can read it, I'm creating this string and it's called ln. And then I'm setting that to read.readLine. Now read.readLine is reading the line, so it's reading that next line. And it will return null if you're at the end of the line. So if there's no more lines, then it'll return null. So as long as that's not null, meaning as long as there are more lines, I want to continue printing out this ln. So every single line, it's going to become ln, and then it's going to print it until the end, and then that's just going to break at the end. Here, that's what is happening here. So I can see that it printed this high version since I just changed it here, and then it changed it to the file, and then it's reading it again, which is kind of cool since you change it and then in the file it changes, and then when you read it, it also changes. I just thought that was cool. Anyways, so basically we have this and it read it because it's reading it by the line, and we only have 2 lines, so it's basically only going through twice before this read.readLine returns null, because the third time there's no line, so it'll return null, and then this while loop will just close off, it'll be done. I'm putting a try-catch statement here just in case this file doesn't exist or something like that. If there are any problems there could be a bunch of problems, but I'm just putting this try-catch statement to catch any of those. And yeah, so we can see I read the file here, and there are more things that you can do. There are also other classes that you can use. I know there's like a BufferedReader, there's a bunch of other classes that you can use to make this process easier for you, but these are some simple ones that are easier and more common, I think. Those are good to know. So yeah, hopefully this has given you a little bit of insight on writing and reading files, and hopefully you can explore those other classes on your own. There are a bunch of other classes in java.io to explore, and hopefully you can do that on your own. So I hope this video was informational to you, helped you learn whatever you wanted to learn, and if it was, then you can give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to this channel for more content just like this every single week on Mondays, and I hope to see you next week. Bye!